Hello moon friends! I'm making this video because there is a partial solar eclipse on March 29th and I wanted to share some information about eclipses with you. So eclipses, they work in seasons. You typically have 2 to 3 eclipses in one season, and each season happens every 5 to 6 months. So you have 2 seasons per year basically. And they work as pairs, right? So at a minimum, you have one lunar eclipse and one solar eclipse in each season. Lunar eclipses, what happens then? So the Earth will cast its shadow on the moon, and it makes us more sensitive and anxious. It reveals emotional patterns that we need to reverse or to change after the eclipse season, not in the middle of the eclipse season. So what we are called to do during a lunar eclipse in particular is to cultivate peace and calm and free ourselves from our emotions. And then we have solar eclipses. Solar eclipses happen during a new moon. So the solar energy intensifies the new moon. But the energy is actually very low, right? Because the new moon is a period where the energy is naturally low. So that amplifies that low energy. And what happens then is that the moon blocks the sun's light, and it will eclipse the forces of vitality from the sun. This is what happens. This is why it is more intense, the low energy. And typically, a solar eclipse will bring unexpected beginnings, usually coming from external events, not something that is coming from us. It just happens to, it looks like it happens to us. And it puts us on a new path and gives us new opportunities. So it's an excellent time to choose to overcome obstacles. And you can do that by stopping doing one thing that you want to stop on the day of a solar eclipse. So I'm going to share a little bit also about the legend of Rahu and Ketu, which are the lunar nodes in Vedic astrology. So the legend says that the gods and demons decided to unite to extract Amrita, which is the nectar of immortality, from the ocean of milk. And one of the demons disguised himself to drink the nectar. And he was spotted by the gods of the sun and the moon. And they told Vishnu. And so Vishnu decapitated the demon with his cosmic disc. But because the demon had already drunk the Amrita, he was immortal. So he was split into two entities, Rahu, the head, and Ketu, the body. And since then, Rahu and Ketu relentlessly pursue the sun and moon for revenge. And each time they catch up with them, they cause an eclipse. But because the sun and the moon also drank Amrita, everything is fine. You know, they always emerge intact. But yeah, basically, Rahu and Ketu are energy portals, and they symbolize the duality of human existence. So Rahu is the material aspirations, and Ketu is our spiritual aspirations. And it reminds us of the importance of balance and the consequences of our actions in the universe. Typically, eclipses will bring drama and distraction, and they confront us to our shadow side. They push us to improve ourselves and to break free from our karmic patterns. So it is said that everything you do on an eclipse day is magnified 100,000 times. So you better choose something that you want to stay, you really want to cultivate in your life. So if I go back on the energy of Rahu, it's represented by the head of a serpent. And it symbolizes our ambitions and our desires in life, but also our obsessions and addictions, what we are thirsty for. And, he has no body, right? He just has the head. So he will keep looking to get something, but is never satiated from it because he doesn't have the body to digest what he's consuming. So it definitely represent addictions. And it also represents what our soul must explore to grow. and it typically brings us challenges and discomfort. And Ketu is the headless serpent body. So it represents our past karma and detachment, what we need to detach ourselves from. And it's our quest for liberation and spirituality. So I have a couple of do's and don'ts to share with you for eclipses. I would start with the do's. So the best recommendation is actually to stay indoors during an eclipse. In the modern world, we talk about go and watch eclipses with, especially the solar eclipses, you have protective glasses that you need to wear, but it's, it's a new thing to go and look at them. But it's actually, in most of the ancient civilizations, it is not recommended to watch eclipses because it's not auspicious. And so yeah, it's much better to stay indoors if you can, as much as you can. Really, especially during those hours, that it's active in where you are, to really not be outside. And so if you can stay home and meditate during that time, it's actually optimum. Yoga Nidra is a great practice for that. But if you cannot be home and meditate, at least, be inside in a place where you can stay calm. And another thing that is recommended is to fast. So you can fast in different ways, but the minimum would be that you stop eating 3 hours before the eclipse, and that you don't eat during an eclipse. And after the eclipse has passed, then you can prepare fresh meals and consume that, and have, very healthy and light food. That would be ideal. If you are used to fasting for spiritual purposes, once in a while, that would be a good day to do that. And in general, we recommend to rest on those days. And also a good thing to do on eclipses is donations. Remember that it will, amplify the actions that you do on that day. So making a donation, even the act of giving, and for the charity receiving, it will just amplify and increase the benefits from that donation. And in general, any kind of positive change that you wanna have. If you want to reverse a bad habit, or so stop doing something, is great, and replacing it by doing something that you would like to cultivate in your life, that's a great day to do it. If you do it on that day, it will be much easier to keep up with it for the following 6 months. That's an awesome day to do that. And then the don'ts, right? So I kind of mentioned it already. Don't look at it. That's one thing. And then don't do anything major. So if it's if there is a contract you need to sign, or launching a product, having surgeries, unless it's something an emergency, anything major in life, don't do it on an eclipse, because it won't work. There will be an issue. So yeah, traveling or big events like weddings, even a regular party, probably not a great day to have it. The eclipse days are not great for those. And then you need to remember that everything you do is amplified on that day. So don't do what you don't want in your life. So I recommend not to have alcohol or drugs, if you're any kind of drugs, if you're consuming them from time to time. That would be the day where you don't, because it will definitely amplify the effects as well. And it will just cultivate that in your life, which is probably not a good idea. And to limit at a maximum media or technology. Because again, media and technology will tend to create anxiety. And this is not something that you want to cultivate in your life either. So if you can stay away from them for that day, and just focus on meditating, working on yourself as much as possible, that would be a much better use of the day's energy for the coming months, to cultivate peace for the coming months. And so Yoga Nidra is a great way to use the eclipse energy for personal development, because meditating during the eclipse is ideal. Yoga Nidra is a lying down meditation technique where you're guided towards effortless conscious relaxation on the physical, mental, and emotional levels. So the body will benefit from a state of sleep while the mind remains awake. And that allows us to reprogram ourselves and to reach our full potential. So it's perfect for breaking free from karmic patterns and to allow ourselves to move forward on our path. And I'm offering a Yoga Nidra practice, especially for that eclipse, on my website. So I will put the link in the comments below. And so if you join the New Moon Circle Mosqoy, you will have access to that practice. And that practice explores the energy of the eclipse that I've mentioned here, but it also explores the energy of the nakshatra, the lunar constellation, in which the sun, the moon, and Rahu will be for that particular eclipse. It will allow you to go deeper into those energies and to see how it applies for you and what it reveals in you that you need to work on and to release, because the energy of this particular new moon and this particular eclipse is really about releasing and starting new. So I hope you will join us, and I hope this video was helpful and that you learned something, and I will see you in the next one.